Okay, so after watching this video, I want to ask you something. So I want you to tell me if you ever wanted to buy something from the store, like maybe a toy or something to eat, and then you just noticed that you did not have enough money, so you couldn't buy it. How would that make you feel? Will you be upset? Will you be sad? Yes, right? Because we sometimes don't have money. We are sometimes broke, right? That means that we don't have money? Yes, that is right. So, tell me how you will feel about not having money and wanting to buy food or clothes or even toys, something that you really want, Xavier. Yes? Alright, yes. Yes, you will feel sad. Okay. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Elizabeth? How do you feel? Thank you for sharing. Okay. In 4th grade, you guys learned about the Dust Bowl. Today we will go over the impact that the Dust Bowl had that led to America to the Great Depression. Saying that, let's read our objective together like we always do. So today, let's read it all at the same time. I will understand and analyze the causes that led to the Great Depression. Okay. Our language objective, let's say it all at once. I will be able to write information about the Great Depression. I will also share my thoughts and ideas about the Great Depression. Alright, so we'll be working on a KWL chart, and remember that in 4th grade we learned quite a bit about the Great Depression. Well, back in the 1920s, about 85 years ago, 85 years is about how old my grandma and grandfather are. So your mom or dad, their parents lived through the Great Depression if they lived in the United States. So about 85 years ago, America was a very wealthy place. Wealthy. What does wealthy mean? Wealthy means, guys, having a good amount of money, like being rich, but not only being rich, but also having the resources. I will put this on the word. Well, since wealthy is one of our vocabulary words for this unit. Okay, well, people in the United States were really wealthy. Businesses grew, people had a lot of money to spend, but guess what, guys? By 1930, businesses had made goods then. They had made more goods than people could buy. What does this mean? What are goods? Well, goods are articles that are for sale or use. For example, let's say that I have a business. Okay? My business is selling backpacks. Well, I have 30 backpacks, but I have only sold 2 backpacks. This means that I'm making more backpacks than I'm selling, right? Because I made 30 backpacks, but I only sold 2. All right, now, so people were broke. So the wealthy people no longer had money. Businesses were failing. Excuse me. Businesses were failing, and so businesses were not selling enough stuff. So what happened to those businesses? What happens when businesses do not make enough money? Well, they have to close, right? Because they're not making enough money. They're not gaining money. Instead, they are losing money. Well, what do we know? What do we know about the Great Depression? Yes. Can anybody tell me? Remember, the K is what do we know, the W is what do we want to know, and the L, what we learned. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Maria. We know from fourth grade that Americans did not have money, right? What else do we know? Yes, Elizabeth. People were sad, right? They were sad because they didn't have money. Businesses were down. The U.S. was pretty wealthy, and then all of a sudden, people didn't have jobs. People were jobless, right? People were unemployed. Well, unemployed means jobless. This is another vocabulary, another constant vocabulary for this unit. Okay, well, what do we want to know about the Great Depression, guys? Alright. We want to know why it happened. Okay, thank you. What else do we want to know? We want to know how it happened. Good job. We want to know what else? Yes. Okay, you want to know when did it happen? You want to know the date? Okay. Alright. What else do you want to know, Maria? You want to know what caused the Great Depression? Yes. So, what caused the Great Depression will be under how it happened, right? Cause or how, why, what did it happen? Alright. So, as I was saying, okay, so let's go over stock. What does stock mean? Stock is the money raised by businesses or companies through the issue and contribution to shares. Stock is the money businesses gain. So for example, if I'm selling backpacks, stock means the money that I'm making by selling backpacks. Okay. Depression. Ooh, the Great Depression is on our objective. What is depression? Depression is a long, severe decline in an economy or market. What does decline mean? Well, the depression was a severe, like a bad fall of the economy. That means that it was pretty bad and people were losing jobs, so decline, like the economy went down, right? We weren't gaining money, we lost money. Okay. Another vocabulary word before we move on is debt. What is debt? Debt is something that you owe, right? So let's say that, Maria, let's say that I ask you, hey Maria, can I borrow $20 because I'm broke, I don't have lunch money, and then you tell me, yes, here you go, Miss Jimenez. Well, now I owe you, right? And I am in debt because I owe you $20. Good job. Okay, so thinking back to cause and effect, we have been talking about that in reading. So when people lose their jobs, more businesses fail because no one has money to spend, right? So if you don't have a job, of course you don't have money to spend. So, for example, if I sell backpacks, but then students don't have any money, parents don't have any money, then I'm not going to sell backpacks, right? Because no one has money. So what was the cost? The cost was that people were unemployed. And we said that we refer back to our vocabulary. Unemployed means jobless, right? They don't have a job. Well, what happened when people became unemployed. What happened? What was the effect? Yes, the effect was that businesses started to fail. Meaning that they were not making money, they weren't selling things, because how are you going to sell something when the whole community, when the whole state is broke, right? There's no money. Alright, so now we will go over 4 different causes that led the United States into the Great Depression. Alright, but first I want you to get your Social Studies journal out. Turn to the next page. We're going to pretend that this is my journal. Well, you're going to make a straight line across. We're going to make a straight line across your journal, like so. And then you're going to make another line halfway across again, so that you have 4 little sections like this. Now, please put your dates, the date, and let's title it causes or events that led to the Great Depression. Alright, so what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to work together, and I will read you 4 causes of the Great Depression. So what are we going to do? We will draw a small illustration, because we don't want to write a whole lot, right? So we're just going to, based on the events, you're going to think in your head, and you're going to say, oh, how does that look like in my head? Okay, and then you're just going to go ahead and draw it. And at the bottom, we're going to write a small description of our illustration. Okay? And remember, we're doing it together. So, if you have problems with spelling, just please pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay, the first event was the stock market crash of 1929. 2 months after the crash, stockholders had lost more than $40 billion. What was stock? Stock was the money made by businesses. Well, guess what? All the stock was lost. Money was lost. So what comes to our mind? Money being lost. You're right, Xavier. So what can we write? Yes, we can write money. Dollar bills, money bags, right? Because there was a lot of money. Think about all the businesses, they all lost their money, right? And we will write an X on top of the money and the money bags. And we're gonna, what's the small description? What was this? This was the stock market crash. So we're gonna write stock market crash of 1929. Alright, what was the other event? The second event was bank failures. When a bank fails, that means that the bank will eventually be closed. Well, guess what happened in 1930? Over 9,000 banks failed. Bank deposits were uninsured and people simply lost their money. So what does that mean? Well, that means that people who deposit money in the bank lost their money because all the banks failed and closed. So I'm going to write a bank, draw a bank, and guess what? It is closed. So I'm going to write closed over the bank. And what can be my small description? Bank failure, right? Good job. Now, what is my other event? Ooh, reduction in purchasing. This means that people were not purchasing. People stopped purchasing because they were broke. This led to a decrease in the number of items produced and workforce was reduced. So what happened? People did not have enough money. Businesses were not selling enough. Businesses could not employ people. They could not hire people because they didn't have money to pay the people, right? Because they weren't making any money. So we're just gonna, what can we write? What can we draw? What can we imagine in our heads? Yes, we can imagine chaos, right? Whoa. So we're just gonna write business, we're just gonna draw small businesses and people unemployed and money, right? Because they didn't have money, they didn't have a job, and they were unemployed. And what can we call it? We can call it, what can we call it, guys? Can anybody tell me? Sure thing. We can call it the what? Let's think. What do we think about when we think? So people were unemployed. They lost jobs. They didn't have jobs. Businesses could not employ people. Okay. Job and businesses fail. Good job. The last one is the Dust Bowl, which we talked about in 4th grade. So from 1930 to 1936, there was a drought, right? Drought means like the soil was dry, there was no rain. So guess what? Farmers who grow crops. Can you grow crops on a soil that is dry and there's no water? Of course not, right? So guess what happened? Farmers could not plant. So the soil was really dry. So we can draw, yes, exactly, we can draw soil and crops such as corn, right? And then we can shade it because it was dust. There's a lot of dust because everything was dry. And we can call it the Dust Bowl. From 1930 to 1936. Good job. Alright. So now, guys, why did you choose to draw okay, I see somebody that instead drew a bowl and dust. Why did you choose to draw that? What does that remind you of? A dust bowl? Okay, so you're thinking about like a plate, a bowl? Good job. Okay, so how do you think the Great Depression affected humans, guys? How did it affect the humans? Good, yes, thank you for sharing. How does the Great Depression and all we talked about, does that remind you of anything else that happened in history? What does that connect you to something in history that we have also learned? Okay, yes, World War II, okay. Okay, so going back to our objective, today we will understand and analyze the causes that led to the Great Depression, and we'll be able to write information about the Great Depression, which we did, and we were able to share our thoughts and ideas, right? You were able to tell me how we could feel about being in the Great Depression and how the Great Depression affected people, right? How did the Great Depression affect not just the people, but the whole country, guys?